So today we are at the Tap and Barrel. We're enjoying a few Caesars. It is Wednesday afternoon, 4:30. I got to do dinner with my mom in an hour.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Okay.
So I'm so excited to be here. We're at Tap and Barrel on the North Shore. This is my first time here. Actually, they did a really good job with this space. And you guys have been so great in the last little while, commenting, watching videos, asking questions. So today we wanted to do something special, which is a Q&A vid. So I love that you guys have been asking so many business questions. And we're going to spend maybe about 10 minutes kind of answering some of those questions. And before I jump into that, I've also got some good news, or exciting news, that I want to tell you guys about. My team and I are going to be starting a brand new series called Bonafide. Yay! I feel like confetti needs to be going. You guys know that I recently bought a townhouse in North Vancouver. Well, my team at House of Bohn is going to help me renovate my townhouse. The media team is going to document it, and we're going to show you guys what I do, well, what Chris and I do with our townhome. So that's going to be coming up in a few months. Just wanted to plug that right now. So stay tuned because this will be fun. I'm like really excited about this project. Okay, so let's jump into this. So the more I've been talking about business and entrepreneurship, the more you guys have been asking questions, which I love. I love hearing from you guys. So please send me your questions because I am more than happy to answer them. And I think we're going to jump in. So this is a little bit of a, well, it's not a fluke. So Nancy Vong sent me an email, and the reason I'm answering her questions is because she was not my first employee, but one of my very, very early employees at House of Bohn. Such a super hard worker, super talented designer, and the reason she stopped working with me is because she ended up moving to Australia. So she's kept in touch, and she's done such a good job of keeping in touch. I'm so thankful for that, Nancy, because I absolutely love and adore you, and sent me an email asking me a few questions about starting a business. Obviously, you're thinking about going out on your own. So if you do, all the best to you. Congratulations. And let's get into it. So the first question is, what made you decide to start your own business? For me, it was never a conscious, like, okay, now I'm going to go and start my own business. I just knew from an early age that I was going to have a business. So in all honesty, I didn't even spend a lot of time in the interior design field before I jumped out on my own. And when I was in elementary school, high school, university, I just always knew I was going to have my own business. So I feel like an entrepreneur through and through. I would have never, ever had it any other way. So there was never a pivotal point in my life where I thought, okay, I'm going to do this. I just always knew that that's what I was going to do. And then, was I scared? So that was the next question. Was I scared? I don't think that I was scared starting my own business at all. I think it was just intimidating. I am definitely someone that likes a big challenge, and that's something I know about myself. I need to constantly be challenged, otherwise I'm not happy or satisfied. So I can't say that I was scared, but I will say, you know, fast forward now all of this time, and 8 years of having House of Bohn, I feel like in a weird way I'm more scared now to make changes and moves in my life because I feel like there's so much more at stake. Like when I started my business and I was in my 20s, I mean, I didn't have anything to lose. And you know, I didn't own a house, I didn't have a lease, I wasn't married. Like, so now when you have an established, you know, firm with people that you're responsible for and all of these life commitments, you want to make sure that you're doing the right things so that you don't screw that up, or that you don't jeopardize what you've worked so hard to build. So I'm definitely a lot more calculating now about what my next moves are, whereas back then I think I was just like, let's roll the dice and see what happens. So I don't remember distinctly a feeling of being scared. Overwhelmed, yes, but not scared. And then the third question that Nancy asked was, how did you cope financially with starting a business? That is something I would say was very, very difficult. And I always think to have a business, you need the 3 C's, cash, credit, or customers. And if you don't have cash, credit, or customers, at any point in startup or the rest of the trajectory, you will fail because you either need cash to keep you going, to do your marketing, to be able to invest in your business. And if you don't have cash, you need credit somehow. You need to be able to maneuver because let's face it, in the early days, your accounts are not, you don't have a steady stream of income coming in. Sometimes you might be collecting, sometimes you're not. Like the peaks and valleys of the cash flow they're really steep. It's not consistent. So that's difficult. And then in the beginning too, if you don't have any customers and you're not generating sales, then you will close shop before you barely open the doors. So that's something to remember, is that you need cash, credit, or customers when you're starting. The 3 C's. So Nancy, maybe I'll do another Q&A and answer more of your questions, but thank you anyways for sending your email. And if you do go out on your own, I wish you all the best. And we'll keep in touch. Let me know how it's going, because I definitely want to hear. Okay, so I'm going to move on to a couple of questions that our YouTube subscribers have asked. Let's see, what do we have? So it looks like the recent A Day in the Life of a Busy Entrepreneur really resonated with you guys because we got a ton of engagement and the most questions from that video. This one comes from Star Davis, who's commented before. Hi Star, love hearing from you. Who said, I enjoyed this video. Can you tell me at what point in your business you started delegating different responsibilities to people? Did you have help from the beginning or did you juggle everything yourself at first? And she says, I find it challenging to keep focused when you're trying to wear so many different hats at one time. Yes, I can totally relate. And Star, I'd actually love to hear what you're doing. So obviously you have your own business, I'm guessing, but tell me, leave a comment on this video and tell me what you're doing because I'd love to know what that business is. And I had help from the very beginning. Even in my very first project, I had an intern or a student that was working and that was helping with me. I operated that way for about a year when I was in startup. But then there was a point when I decided to commit to my first full-time staff and commit to a salary. This wasn't a contract person, this wasn't a student, it wasn't a friend, it wasn't an intern, like it was a paid position. That was super, super scary because I didn't know if I would be able to afford that salary ongoing. But I knew that if I wanted to grow my business and I wanted to focus on getting more business, I knew that I needed help doing the design work. So I did it from a very early time, and if I could give any advice to anybody, I would, ooh, more Caesars. No, that's awesome. Yeah, we are. Well, we're filming. We're not live streaming, but yay! Thank you. What's your name? I'm Alex. Nice to meet you. Thank you for the Caesars. That's awesome. More Caesars. Back on that question. Yeah. Okay. Sorry guys, this was supposed to be like a really profesh Q&A session. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden we have all these Caesars in front of us. But in all seriousness, I'm still way too sober to be giving you bad advice. So don't worry. Okay, but going back to the question of when did I start delegating? So I would say from the very beginning, and if I had any advice to anybody, I would really actually recommend that you hire people as soon as you can, because let's face it, you're not going to be good at everything, and I think that you need to really know what your strengths are and focus on your strengths, and then hire to support or hire where other people can add value. The challenge with that, of course, though, is that you need to have customers first before you start hiring people. And the hardest thing, what you don't want to be doing in business, I don't think, is you want to avoid front loading as much as you can, meaning spending cash in order to make money. You want to try to be doing it the other way, where you're making a little bit of money and then spending that cash, because you're always playing catch up. I did have to do that a little bit in the beginning. I didn't have a huge pool of resources to draw on. And it did ended up paying off for me, but it definitely, the more that you can just get out there and sell and generate business, the better off you're going to be in the long run. And really, at the end of the day, that's what business is. So I hope that answers your question. Here is a question from Megan Lazelle. Hi, Megan. I think this is the first time I see you commenting. So hello, and thanks for commenting. And she says, I would love to see an in-depth analysis of the beginning of your business, the most valuable lessons you learned along the way, including the hard way, and the business strategies that you attribute to the direct success that you've had. Okay, so that's a big question, but what I'm going to try to address is the most valuable lessons I learned along the way just ties into what I was just talking about regarding sales. I think that your focus as the business owner has to be sales. And in fact, that just needs to be your number one focus. I don't even think that you should focus on anything else other than sales, and then the rest can follow. Because if you don't do the sales for your business and your company, no one else is going to do that. And sales in your business is the lifeline. It's the oxygen to making everything else happen. So you always have to be going out there, and you have to be picking up the phone, and you have to be connecting with people, and you have to be introducing yourself, and you always have to be finding opportunities where you can work with people. So you always have to be selling. Same thing when in the early days I used to go to all these networking events to try to meet people and see people, but the reality with interior design is that it's highly unlikely, and in fact has never ever happened once in my career where I've gone to an event and someone was like, oh, actually, you know what, I'm looking for an interior designer, can I get your card? That doesn't ever happen. Like, the service of interior design is very specific, it's very niche, and when I'm building relationships, I'm usually building those relationships for years out. Whenever I go to a coffee meeting or a lunch meeting or a drinks meeting for the first time, or just a straight up business meeting to present my portfolio, I never think that I'm going to get a job from them that week or month or even that year. Like, sometimes it takes 2, 3, 4 years before I start working with that client. So it's definitely an endurance run. It's not a sprint. You have to be planting a lot of seeds for the future, and really just trying to cultivate those customers and those clients now. Oh, Sam has got a question. Where do you find clients? Good question. Where I find clients now is very industry specific. So I will specifically go and pick up the phone if I know that there's a certain restaurant group that I want to work with, or there's a builder that I want to work with, or a developer that I want to work with. If I want to work with you, I'll pick up the phone and I'll tell you that I want to work with you and start working on that relationship. So, yeah, I think that's it for today. Hopefully that answered a couple of your guys' questions and you got a little bit of a takeaway from that. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Thanks again for your comments. If you've already asked me a question I haven't answered it might get answered in another Q&A video, or if you have any more questions, let me know. I'd be happy to answer them. And that's it for today. Bye for now, and thanks for watching. Those are the moments that we need to have on camera. Testing. I do not hear anything.